right, here we are. Welcome back, Thomas.
Hey.
Big superstar.
Yeah.
Out of SEMA show.
Yeah.
Signing autographs.
You know it. Just another day, man.
Hollywood Tom?
Yep. Thaddeus is here. What's up, Tad?
Nothing good.
Not even going to hit you with your stupid sound effect either.
That would be, the junior one?
Yeah, the junior one.
I didn't hear this.
You got it. All right, hang on.
Oh, somebody doesn't listen to our show?
Yeah. I got to quiet it up here.
That's awesome.
It's a little quiet.
That is great.
Yes, it is.
And Crunch is taking the evening off. He's apparently sick.
Yep.
So
That's what we heard.
Hope you feel better, buddy. A lot of people are sick. I'm a little froggy myself, and had a little bit of coughing all weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just I think it was the weather change because we had a 70-degree day, and I think last night was like 32.
Yeah, I heard that. Actually, when I was in Vegas, my wife went to the beach. It's November, and she's on the beach reading a book.
Really?
Yeah. Swear to God.
Yeah, this whole weather system's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. She sent me and the kids a picture. We're like, damn. Well, I was like, damn.
Well, where were you? Were you?
I was in Vegas.
You were. Yeah, well, it had to be pretty warm there.
Well, yeah.
Exception to lack of water.
Yeah, there's no ocean.
But you know, you go to Lake Mead.
I could have.
That is pretty sweet over there.
That
whole area.
I know. It's nice. Really. Hey, 908-751-0211. I dare anybody to call in and give us grief or something.
Yeah.
Anything.
What are you supposed to do, Tad?
Come on,
There's
Tad.
your big line.
Yeah, he's
You
just
fucked that all up.
Like us on Facebook. Oh, man, I went off mic.
Yeah, you did.
You did. Failure.
Nice job, Bud.
Oh, that's fighting words.
Yeah, we tried to get Alan to come in today. He didn't want anything to do with it.
He thought about it for a second.
He sent me a resounding nope.
Yeah, like in 1 second.
You have thoroughly ruined him, Tom.
Yeah.
Okay? I hope you're proud of yourself.
I am. You know I am.
So you weren't here last week because do you want to start with the SEMA show? Or do you want to talk about your television appearance or the fact you were signing autographs?
I got a lot of shit, huh?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's start with SEMA. Let's start with this. Let's start with some hatred.
Okay.
Yep.
Because you've done it before, so let's just carry on. Chevrolet. I mean, I don't know if they can do anything else more wrong.
Such as?
Well, they got the new Camaro out there.
I saw Mike's today on the way home from work.
They just keep making that thing uglier and uglier. It's awful.
Yep. Well, the one I saw could very well be that one. It was yellow and all, so it had to be with Mike's.
I mean, it doesn't matter what color you put on it. It's just they keep making it. I told him it reminds me of one of those 4-wheel like Razor things. You know, those things you guys drive around at the gas line. What are they called?
Oh, that is Razor.
Yeah, the Razor. Like all kind of angled body panels and just awful. It looks like a little space buggy. And then you look at the Mustang, and
Is that it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's not as bad as you made it sound like.
Yeah, actually, that picture doesn't make it as bad as I made it like. But I mean, I hate the front end. I hate the wheel. Look at it. It's pretty bad. I mean, everybody can't see it, obviously, because this is a podcast.
Yeah, we'll put this up.
I do believe I saw one, like I said, yellow with a black convertible top.
Oh, Christ. These guys are like the Subaru retards with the STI horns or whatever. They got red rings around the headlights.
Hella, whatever.
Hella flush.
Yeah.
Mike's jealous already.
God.
How many times has Mike said STI or Subaru retards? I mean, it's
what, today or just this month?
No, I mean, just this month. It's like an unending stream.
Well, you know what happened? Because I spent time in that Naziok thing.
Proven power bragging.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just...
Well, no, it's after he went to the strip to see what they can do, which wasn't much.
Well, no, now I understand
Yeah.
why that stuff is posted where it is, because watching their performance potential at the racetrack, they better stick to a forum, most of them.
Yeah.
And again, not the good guys, because the good guys, they got their shit together.
Yeah,
but,
good guys go fast.
Ugh.
Speaking of which, go
good
ahead.
guy.
You said you got something about a Subaru guy that you know.
Well, I don't know him personally, but I just read it on that Facebook thing about Rolly set a new record.
Rolly.
But it's...
You don't know? There's somebody in the Subaru community you don't know?
Yes.
Wow.
And could you elaborate on said record?
No, Tom's got it.
No, I mean, seriously.
You didn't look up how fast he went? You just know?
I did. I don't remember it. I just woke up.
Oh, what the fuck, Tad?
That's research at its finest.
Yes.
I think he went 842 or 847. He went 167. It's pretty fast.
The thing is, Like you told me though, it's a lot lighter than CJ's car.
Yeah,
And it's also a built trans and stuff like that. So you try to figure where's the record set because where's the rules? What is it?
Yeah. It's a built trans.
Yeah, built trans, lightweight car. So
If you were in the, I'm telling Mike this so the listeners know, if you were in the business, as it were, today, you would want to kill people, because when they talk about a transmission that is not stock, they call it built. And when they talk about an engine that's not stock, they say you need it forged.
What?
It's got to be forged.
Forged.
Yeah.
Since when did that become an option?
Because everything comes cast.
Everything's come cast for years. I mean,
that's they call it.
But not glass pistons like Subarus. But
yeah, they are. The cast is cast, and they talk about stuff in stages. Like, well, how's your car? It's a stage 2. Okay.
Is there any?
What does that mean? Yeah.
I couldn't do this.
I got stage 2 cams in mine.
Really? So, like, if you go in a cam book somewhere or another, there's a definition for stage 2. It's like, well, this one's 242 at 50 on the intake.
Well, remember good old three-quarter race
there's
cam?
None of that. Yeah, that's about. Yeah, I guess they're in infancy.
So we have digressed back to three-quarter race cam, full race cam.
Full race.
Yeah. My Iski cam or something.
I'd go with full race.
Full race, yo.
If it was my Subaru.
I don't. Well, you know what this probably comes from? These people don't know enough about what they're talking about.
No.
So this is a way for them. Look, that's how camshafts and everything started with those names.
Yeah.
People didn't know how to compare one to another. So this is, well, is that a race cam? Well, it's like 3/4 of the way there.
Yeah.
And here came a term that was coined by idiots saying crowler all over
crowler,
the planet.
No. The term coined by idiots, NOS.
Yeah. That came from Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. NOS.
Wait, that's not a factual show.
No. So yeah, I wanted to hate on Chevy. I also went over to them to ask if they had any information on a 3/4 ton diesel Suburban.
Yeah.
And I got nobody home looking in the eyes.
There's one? What? Where?
Yeah, the manager of the booth, which is huge. I mean, it's a Chevy booth. He says, "Oh yeah, go to my truck guys. They'll know. They know everything." So I walk over, 3 guys. First thing in the morning, they haven't talked to anybody yet. Show's not even open. And I said, hey, a buddy of mine's looking at, I heard in 16 you're coming out with a 3/4 ton Suburban. And they're all, if you guys could imagine the face I'm making right now, they're all like,
just open mouth, like looking stupid.
Just drooling on each other.
And these are the truck guys that Chevy sent to the show.
Yes.
Great job.
Yeah. I said, one guy says, no, we didn't hear anything about that. I'm like, yeah, my buddy said he saw it on the internet. And he was like, what is this internet you speak of?
Well, it was on like very reputable sites.
Yeah, it was on GM parts store. I mean, GM Info Direct or something. It's like the top GM like sleuth website.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just turned around and walked away. I'm like, you guys are idiots.
But it turns out that you did find out that it is what do they call it? A fleet vehicle.
Yeah, fleet vehicle only.
Nope. And it isn't going to be in a diesel.
No. So you're gonna have to go to Duraburb. Well, you're keeping the excursion anyway.
Yeah, $5,000 translator.
Did you call and find out?
It's done.
It's going in to be done. I'm gonna try to get it there tomorrow. Right now, it's got a trans brake. I put it in drive, and it just locks. But yeah, it's gonna be $5 to fix it. It's getting old. You know what I mean? Shit's gonna continue to go wrong with it. But I mean, I must be, and you've said it, like one of the only people that wants this. But I look at all the women driving around in Suburbans with, 45 kids and a bag of balls in the back, soccer balls.
Yep.
What, not truck nuts?
No. And they, I would think that they'd want this. I mean, there was a big push for diesel because it could be cleaner. It could be this, better gas mileage. I guess VW fucked all that up.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the only, but why wouldn't they do this?
I don't know, but I did read something interesting today. The full-size HD Suburban today gets 23 miles to the gallon on the highway.
I can't believe that.
I know.
Really can't believe that.
Well, I told you about my Durango. I mean, I got 28.
My uncle bought a full-size pickup, half-ton, but just a pickup.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, he does plumbing with it, so he's got, stuff in the back, and, it's got
Plumber's
like,
crack?
Yeah. It's got like utility body kind of compartments on it. It's not really utility body. It looks like a regular bed. Just like above the wheel wells, they
I
made
got you.
boxes.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not that heavy. No ladder racks. Nothing that should make mileage drastically worse. And he says it's awful. 16, 17.
Yeah.
And they said that's how it is.
What year is it?
Either a 13 or a 14.
Well, that's what I don't know. I don't know because I know the Chevy Tahoe was in the 23 range too. Once they put they have a 7-speed, something like that, maybe a 6-speed. Once they put the good trans in it, the gas mileage went up appreciably.
Well, Richie at Extreme, he bought a GMC. It got like 10 miles a gallon driving it home. He traded it in the next day and got an EcoBoost Ford, which he's in love with. But that's before they went with their great gas mileage now. So I don't know if it's the transmission that,
The Extreme powder coating guy got one?
Yeah.
All right. So if he's driving, I'm not driving an EcoBoost. An EcoBoost doesn't exactly fit in the idea of an Excursion.
No.
And the Excursion was bigger than the Suburban. I don't care, but I want a full-size truck.
Right.
And then, I had this conversation with Tom. I do want to plow snow. I got a long driveway. I got my mom I got to take care of. I got, So, I need a truck, but I just don't want the truck to stop right behind the passengers.
I got the replacement. Forester. That's simple.
Yeah.
Come on. What?
Here is a mess.
He is.
All right, let's talk about fast shit. Screw trucks. All right, so back to SEMA show. Is anybody going to like us on Facebook, you think?
Like
I don't know. The way Todd said it before, I don't think anybody's paying attention.
I know.
I did it.
Why don't you give him the phone number one more time?
I don't have it in front of me.
Is he a total failure?
He is. 908-751-0211, especially if you went out to SEMA, because Tom apparently has an autograph story as well. So
I want to hear about this.
I had a guy come over and said, "Hey man, I listened to your show. You guys are awesome. Like Tom, you're obviously the best." He wanted me to autograph his wife's butt cheek, and I just made that whole thing up. Now, one of our listeners did show up, Mark Bench. I know him, and he didn't want me to put my hands anywhere on his wife. Not that he said anyway, but he's a cool guy, and I know him from the business, but he stopped out. He did mention the show and he likes it. It's cool.
That's good.
But it was good to see him.
No, it is that kind of stuff's always nice when somebody comes up and says, hey, I do listen.
Yep.
Well, what was neat about the races at Englishtown, we actually saw some of our listeners.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty strange.
And they had plenty of time to talk to us because all the shit was blown up. Wow.
Unfortunately, this is true.
Yeah. So, and also my guys from the Emirates, they're listening tonight. They both popped on my Facebook and liked the link, and I spent a lot of time with them out there.
B-Doc said he showed up there too. Did you actually talk to Tom there, B-Doc? I'm looking on the chat. So
yeah, he did he come see me?
I don't know. I can't. It doesn't say. It just says he showed up too. That's all he said.
Damn.
He'll get back to us.
Yeah.
Continue, Thomas.
So I did a couple things. Actually, I went. Oh, this is about my Durango. I went to the Brembo booth because Mike hammers me about the brakes on that thing. Pretty
well. They are pretty small.
They're so gay, dude. They're just little like old
spindly,
school finger calipers. Like looking at the backside of the pad. That's beautiful.
Yeah, they're awful. So I got a name from a Brembo engineer, and he said that Brembo only has like 4 bolt patterns. So I'm going to be able to get something. But he thinks the Mercedes AMG is going to work for the front. The Jeeps will work on the back with no changes. It's like a 13.5-inch rotor on the back with a Brembo caliper that doesn't hit the wheels.
Is that like from the thing I was looking at, the SRT Jeep thing?
Yeah.
Dude, they're huge brakes.
I know. They're as big as your Corvette brakes. And
it's got huge rims, so.
Yeah, but you put brakes like that on the back, what do you put on the front? Are you just going to put the caliper on?
No, you put the back caliper from the Jeep on the back.
Yeah.
It's not that big. It's like my Subaru rear caliper.
Really?
The front caliper on the Jeep is huge.
Okay.
It's a 6-piston. It's enormous.
Because that will mess up bias. I mean, I guess maybe with anti-locks it doesn't matter as much. It might, and again, volume of pistons.
Yeah.
That could even mess them
up. Well, and the guy told me that, the engineer. So he'll, whatever. If I got to get an SRT8 Jeep master cylinder, I'll get one.
Well, if an engineer told you that, because we know.
Yeah, I know. No, but a bunch of guys have done this swap already. You go on Durango Forum, and there's a bunch of guys that have done it. So I'm not too worried about it.
Durango Forums?
Shut up.
And
You're gonna hate on me?
no,
Well, I had to find out.
what is it? Because Nasty Ox sounds odd enough for Subarus. What's the Durango form named?
Yeah, that is a real good.
It's named Durango for him. So anyway,
So he gave you some ideas from Brembo of what to try.
Yep. And also, interestingly enough, so I had a meeting with a guy, who is CEO of one of my big clients, and he's also the CFO of another big supercharger company. Okay. And I'm talking to the guy about he knows the calibrator from Dodge that's going to do my truck. I said, yeah, I'm going to eventually throw a turbo on the thing. And he's like, turbo? Just put a supercharger on it. I'm like, I don't want to kill the gas mileage. He's like, oh, no. He said the new superchargers, the bypass system on them is such that it might cost you 1 mile per gallon. But he said when the throttle blades are closed, they're pretty good.
Now, the roots, just to bring up the obvious.
Yeah.
The guy who said they'd be that good is the guy who makes a supercharger.
Yeah,
right?
he did. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Just clarifying.
Good point.
I'm not saying I don't believe him. I mean, look, the newer ones, they have, that whole bypass situation is nice.
Yeah.
So they're always coasting unless they're demanding boosts.
Exactly.
They're not compressing at all, which has got to keep heat back. I mean, everything about it's got to be better.
Yep.
But, I mean, you would think just turning that thing, especially at the ratio that they turn, that it's got to be something.
You would think. But well, the thing is with a turbo, you kill if you're in the throttle, you kill your gas mileage too. It's just off throttle that they act normally, off boost.
Yeah.
So he, I don't know why the guy would lie to me. Or
sales?
No, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't get paid on sales. He just gets paid.
Engineer.
Did you look up the results of the MRR race?
I can't find nothing.
Oh my God.
Tad, you really are borderline useless. Hang on, we got a caller.
I'm trying.
He can tell us
cool
exactly. But you know what? I didn't put. Oh, he hung up. All right.
Well, call back.
Oh, he's back.
No.
I think he's. Now, how the hell do I answer this from this thing again? Hang on.
God, we're weak.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. You there, buddy? Nope. Hang on.
Mr. Technical
Hello?
Difficulty.
All right, hold on.
Can you hear me now?
I'm here.
I hope Howard's not listening.
Yeah. What'd he say? Amateur?
Yeah, amateur hour.
Dickhead. All right.
I was at MIR too.
Oh, I got to push that one twice. Now he's here. See, now hold on. I got to explain to some people here. We've been using the computer screen to do all the call screening and everything else.
Yep.
So the stupid, well, it's not stupid. It's pretty high tech. It's a phone console, and the lights turn colors depending on what you're doing. So there's 2 rows of lights, and you push a button, and there's really not a label on the thing.
No, and you don't have the colors memorized, so why would you?
No, because I never look at the thing.
Well, yeah.
But now we have the caller. Hey, buddy, what's up?
This is Brandon, D-Doc.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
I was out there at the show. I think I saw Tom. I didn't go over there, though.
Why not, man? You should have.
Didn't want an autograph.
I don't want to be one of those guys.
Oh, that sucks. No, it would have been cool, actually.
But I did use the power and speed. I talked to Joe at Precision, and that power and speed, kind of got me a deal on a turbo. So.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
That's awesome.
And the first thing he asked was how he sounded on the on the show.
Yeah, it figures.
Everybody wants to know that. It's kind of funny.
And you obviously told him he sounded like a superstar, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's good. So he hooked you up?
Yeah, he hooked me up. But I wanted to talk about, I guess this year it seemed like the whole riveted on, wide body kit was like the thing this year. It was big.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that. I think it makes, your expensive car look kind of cheesy.
I would agree. And I did see that, and I don't like that either. Actually, I took a picture of a Mustang that had a wide body kit on it, and it was exactly that, like riveted on and not really well done. They just cut the wheel wells and put a big tire on it and then put like a fake lip, and not me.
Exactly.
Is that what those Subaru guys are doing, Ted?
Actually, I was just thinking, it looked like a couple of the Subarus we saw in the pits and the show pits.
But some of them looked okay. But you see, this is exactly why GM and Ford and others are screwing up in places. Pay attention to what the people are doing. This is what they want. They want a bigger tire. They want maybe a little bit wider stance. This is what they're looking for in a performance car.
Yeah.
And, yes, everybody has the customized look. Like they're trying to get customized. But I mean, like you take my Corvette out there. You put any fender flare you want. I ain't putting a bigger tire on it. It's got the biggest thing you can get.
Yeah.
And that's like Factory 5. We talked about the same thing. If you're
They
doing
blow
something from scratch, make it cool and people will buy it.
Hey, Brandon, did you come from Texas?
No, New Jersey.
Oh,
I hate that place.
me too. Okay, I forget. So you what'd you go out to SEMA for? Just to go?
I go every year. I don't know if you remember back. It was a while back. I said, if you guys wanted to come, I had space in my my room. If you guys ever want to go out, I always go out every year.
Oh, no shit.
I do remember that.
I have like a timeshare out there, so
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you know what? That's the way it should always be done for people that are doing trade shows. We talked about this with the other guys, that if you could, get yourself into a timeshare and pencil in the weeks you needed, like it would be off-site a little bit.
Yep.
But, I always get a car. I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
well, I got a suite, so
yeah, and that's
I was good. I mean, I had a big room, but the guys from Injector Dynamics got a house.
Really?
House?
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, they got to have. I don't know how big, but knowing those guys, it was big, and
An animal house type.
they
deal?
all stay. Yeah, like probably a 8-bedroom, 6,000 square foot deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just guessing, but
Food fight.
it is the way to go. We have to start a new podcast called TotalFailure.com.
yeah, keep that off.
No, he's going to run it.
Well, that's what happens like when Brian goes to Florida for like the races. They rent, an entire house.
Yeah,
and it's amazing how cheap it is.
Brian says he's going to race.
Well, I mean, sometimes he goes, sometimes he doesn't. But I mean,
with six men.
yeah. So wrong. But like even last year, went down there just to watch and rented the house, and it by the time you're done, you put everybody's room money together, what it would cost him, works out better.
Yeah.
So he's got the right idea with a timeshare out there.
Yep. So he went to watch last year?
Yeah.
With how many guys?
Not many, actually. That was funny. He kind of rented this big giant house, and I think it was like only like 3 people.
Wow.
Intimate group.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was but I mean it's a good deal. But anyway, I mean like you said, the companies that we work with usually take care of it. I mean, they put me up in retarded expensive places that I can't even understand.
Yeah.
But it's nice. All right, man. Well, I appreciate the offer.
Wait, I'm not done with him.
All right, I didn't get rid of him.
Yeah, well, you
dickhead.
sound like you were gonna.
No, it's just closing the thought.
Hey, Brand, did you go to the Chevy booth at all?
Yeah, I went in and walked right out.
Did you see the new Camaro?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It's terrible.
Terrible, right? I mean, they just keep making it uglier.
Well, after you beat it up for 10 minutes, a guy comes on and he's like, "Nah, Tom, you're a dickhead." It was beautiful.
I think he's from New Jersey. I think he would say I'm a dickhead if he thought it was nice.
Okay, fair point.
Yeah, but no,
Chevy's really not doing anything. I mean, I don't know what
they got their head in their ass, right?
They're out of touch with what's going on.
Yep, they really are. I mean, you look at the Ford booth. Damn, the Ford. They had all they had over there was cool shit. I mean, they had that Ford supercar. What's it called? The
GT, right?
GT?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ford GT.
I mean, that thing's unbelievable. Literally unbelievable.
They got a big ego boost in it.
Yeah. And I think the Mustang is just totally badass looking. I mean, they redid the front end. It looks mean. The car's got a good stance.
The only thing I've been wondering is they're saying how Ford wants to like phase out the V8s and just everything EcoBoost V6 or
Yep.
Which will be interesting how many people will piss off that they dropped the V8 and replace it with a turbo V6.
Well, they're not dropping it anytime soon. They're talking about it, but
yeah.
I mean, it's still good through 16.
Well, yeah, but their premier car, the GT.
Yeah, they have a new motor already called the 5.2. It's a V8. So it's going to be, they're going to have V8s for a while. But what else did you I didn't get around too much. What else did you see that was cool? I'm trying to. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just.
I mean, I'm just there looking at the cars and getting ideas because I'm into the custom and older cars, and I also do newer cars. But like I said, the whole riveted on body kits that they were kind of killing me.
Yeah.
I'm like everybody's doing it, and then I actually looked up the price on what they did for the kit for the Porsches.
Yep.
$22,000.
Oh my God!
Wow.
The car looked cheap.
Yeah, it's literally amazing that people will do that.
Yeah.
And the Porsches fit a pretty big tire the way it is.
All right, now I got to ask him one question.
The one had a 355 tire on the back.
That's a big tire.
Yep, got to ask him one question. Out of we'll call it the big three, Chevy, Chrysler, or Dodge, whatever you want to call it, and Ford, out of all the retro cars they re-released, what do you like the best?
Or what do you think's the best looking?
The one that the best looking is probably the Mustang. The one that looks most like the old car is probably Dodge.
Yep.
The Challenger.
That's exactly how I feel.
I'm that way, but I'm biased for the Dodge, so.
I like the Dodge, and I didn't look at the Mustang, but I will.
No, but he's saying the Dodge looks more like the old car, and it does.
Yeah.
I like the Dodge. I think the Dodge is great, but
Dodge hit it on the retro look.
yeah, no doubt. And the rest of their line, I think, is better than everybody else's.
You know, it cracks me up too. Everybody keeps on going, oh, GM's putting out a new Chevelle. And if you look at it, it's a Dodge platform. They just put a Chevelle grill in it, you know?
Yeah. Chevy's a mess. They're a total mess.
I'm never going to understand it. It's very hard as a Chevy guy. You know, it was bad enough I had to buy an Excursion.
Yeah.
When we did that.
Yeah.
You know, it's because there wasn't anything good.
Yeah.
And it just continues. It really does.
We should call somebody at Chevy and ask them what their designers are thinking.
Oh, they're leading the pack.
The only thing about Chevy that is actually looks decent is the Corvette.
Yeah.
Everything else looks basic.
Yep.
Now, I kind of got to take issue with that. I don't like the C7 at all. Corvette's always had round taillights.
I'm not saying that, you know, what it looks like. I'm just saying that's the only thing that's like stand out with Chevy.
Yeah. It's the only thing you would even look at all.
Really basic. Like there's no type of styling to it. It's just basic cars.
Yep. I agree with that.
All right, Brandon. Well, thanks for calling in, buddy, and appreciate it. And I know exactly who this is. I gotta hit him up on.
I'm still waiting on that shirt. Whenever you guys.
Well, now wait a second. In fairness, I got nothing to do with that one. Tom said he had a girl that was going to do it. She's hot. He knows her. She'll take care of all this stuff. She's a car girl. Tom, where are we?
Crickets.
Yeah.
No. I guess they're working on it, dude. You're gonna get a shirt. Believe me, you're gonna get a shirt.
All right.
I'll work harder on it, but I will say next time you go to a show and I'm standing there, you got to come over and say hello, man. Come on, it's crazy.
I will. I wasn't sure if it was you. I said, I saw Tom on your shirt. I was like,
that's a dead giveaway.
All the people lined up for the Hollywood Tom autographs.
Or it was a guy that stayed with Tom the night before, one or the other.
Easy.
I'll come say hi next event.
All right, bro.
All right.
See you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
That brought up a really good point, that if anybody wants to know what Tom looks like.
Yeah, just go to SEMA show.
Nope.
Just
what should they be doing to know who Tom is?
Looking for people with Tom on the shirt?
Nope.
I don't know. I'm a little scared right now.
Come on, dude. We just talked about it. What's going on tonight on TV?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Street Outlaws is on.
Look how swollen his head's got. Oh, I'm on a little show like Street Outlaws.
Hollywood.
Yeah, the episode that Tom was actually there for the taping. I guess apparently that episode is airing tonight. I mean, we knew it was a long ways away.
And I'm here?
Yeah, tonight at 9. You're not recording it?
Yeah, my TV was going to record it, but I'm not there live.
Well, you can watch it here before you leave.
No.
Oh, I can't invite him to your house?
No. It's bad enough he's got to come here every Monday.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so that's on tonight, and apparently it's getting a lot of activity on that Facebook thing. I see a ton of people talking about it. I got tagged in a zillion posts already.
Is it, I mean, after this is over, you can talk more about it, right? Because it really, I mean, look, I know that.
No, it's going to be on TV tonight, so I don't think I'm going to kill anything.
Right. Well, don't talk about it.
No, I'm not going to.
Because I don't want you actionable for any reason. But,
no.
Like, did they tell you, like, after it's over, you can't talk about it?
No.
Okay.
No, once the show's aired, I could talk about anything.
Okay. All right. Well,
because there's really nothing. They don't, like we used to bust on them in the first 10 or 15 shows we did. And I think I said already long ago that it surprised me how real it is.
Yeah.
They make it look more unreal just because they're trying to make a 4-second run look like, last for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So they got lawnmower sounds and 60 camera angles and,
Formula One shifting.
Yeah, Formula One shifting and jet fighters and shit. But the wheel, we talked about the tire screeching. I stood behind the Crow and it went down a track and it screeched the tires the whole way down the track. It blew me and Dave from Head Games looked at each other like, damn, you kidding me? So, but yeah, so that's on tonight. I'm actually very afraid of what I don't even know if I'm on camera, man. I mean, I tried to put myself.
That'd be better if they like caught Tom with a finger jammed up his nose or picking his underwear out of his ass crack. That would just be awesome.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is not going to happen because I was aware of that. But you can't be unaware of looking fat and stupid. So
you're not exactly this big fat mess. I mean, well, no offense to anybody else in the room. So nasty. Tad, do you finally have something to contribute?
I was going to say, at least you weren't there when they had an actual pro mods come out to race the small tire car, that stuff. That
was Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I only know that because it was on last night. It's like the third episode I watched.
I believe you want to circle back to something that Tad, through an amazing amount of hard work and research, and perhaps the fact that Jeff Chang sent a link to the results of the import race that I have forwarded to Tad.
And Jeff is the man, yeah, because Tad couldn't find the results.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's on Facebook, this thing. What's this Facebook thing I'm looking at?
I know. Actually, Jeff texted me last night. He's like, well, I'm not gonna name names, but he said, blah, 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 blah. We got to get my car out there next year. And I'm like, damn, we do. Because his car, one thing about his car, number one, it's fast. But when he has it ready, it makes passes. Like it goes.
And I'd be relatively sure he's not using the rev limiter as the shift light.
No, Jeff.
I'm sure he's got his stuff together.
His stuff is together. No doubt. So I'm probably going to start now. And we ought to do, he's probably listening. We should, we did a GoFundMe. Somebody did a GoFundMe for the Street Outlaw thing. We should do a GoFundMe to get his car out here from California. I mean, all we need is like $2,500.
What, to get it out here?
Yeah, out and back.
For what?
For the race at MIR, the import versus domestic.
Oh, the thing that just happened.
Yeah, the thing just happened.
Is that any better than what? I mean, not knocking on
I'll tell you, they come from
the Boxster Challenge.
No, it's nothing like a Sunday at Englishtown. No, all the good cars come there. I mean, pro mods are there. Hell, Carl Stevens was there. He just set the fastest pro mod time in history a couple weeks ago. Tad?
Yes.
What do you know about that?
I don't.
God almighty.
And you said, well, at least Alan's gone.
Yeah, I've said that. What is wrong with me?
I don't know.
Dude, do you need a research assistant? Tad, you were supposed to be our research assistant.
That was one of your jobs.
We promoted you from phone guy. You went right up to on-air personality.
Anybody wants to know why I'm here tonight is because Mike woke me up and I just made it here.
In fairness, we knew Crunch was going to be out. And then I was like, well, that's a little weird. Cletus isn't here yet.
That's true.
And Tom's like, nah. And I was like, well, it's a little earlier than I think because you got here a little early because you were buying something and we had to get squared up.
Yep.
And then it's like 6:30. I'm like, huh.
Yeah, my phone rang. I was like, what?
He was all grogged.
So he's like, hello? Like, Tad? What time is it? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'll be right there.
So at that point, Mike hangs up and we know he's got no info, no nothing.
Yeah. Way to go, Tad. And then your excuse was you were working with bronze.
Yes, I was.
I guess that's
that came flying out of his mouth like for no reason at all.
Hard knock life, brother.
I worked with
you
bronze
have no
today.
idea.
All right. So, Tad, do you have any of the results?
You should thank Jeff, first of all.
You should thank Jeff for
Jeff.
bailing you out from looking like the failure you are.
Well, I got this book of faces here. Sorry. So
we're going to get Jeff out here next year.
Good. He can get my seat.
No, out to the race, buddy, not here.
Oh, damn.
He can come here, too. That'd be pretty cool.
Hey. So.
Dude,
some results? We're sitting here looking at you, Todd.
I got, you know what? I got to cue up the crickets. So I can't take this anymore.
Go for it.
Do you actually have results from the race, Todd?
Not offhand. Well, yeah, I have some stuff. It's on Facebook. Who cares? There's no list.
All right. Well, all right. So what you're saying is it just goes through and there's no text list.
No.
Okay.
See,
just, if you had read what I sent you, you could have said, Mike, there is no actual results.
You sent me a link.
It's on Facebook.
Thank you. It's not a cricket.
No, it isn't. So Warren Johnson was at our booth for about an hour at SEMA. That was pretty cool.
When's he coming in?
Yeah.
Next week.
Nice.
Yeah, he'll be up. He talked a lot about, how the Pro Stock is the first race in California, which I'm going to go to on my own nickel, actually, because I'm interested to see that fuel injected deal. And he's thinking that
everybody is, but
yeah, I know. He's thinking they're going to be slow. And NHRA does not care. You know what they cared about? All they cared about was that they were going to still be able to go 200 miles an hour. That's it.
That was their big concern.
That's it.
I would think that if I was the NHRA, I think I would want enough cars to make a viable class. And
they think there's going to be 10 to 12 cars the first race.
I said that.
You did. Well, you're a visionary.
You told me no.
I know. I thought there'd be more.
Well, you probably shouldn't really disclose what he thinks, but
somebody thinks 10 to 12, and they're all going to be off.
But at least it'll be an even playing field that way.
Well, I've been giving that some thought, and with all these rule changes, it really does level the playing field for guys like Alan's buddy.
Well, yeah, it does. For
now. I mean, yeah, immediately. If I was a Pro Stock guy that ran 720s in a 650 world, I would go to the first 3 events.
Yeah, but what Alan's big bone of contention here that makes sense was...
Wait a minute. Alan doesn't have anything that makes sense.
No, he had a good point on this one.
All right.
They have to buy a lot of equipment that they might have already sourced or had. A lot of things change.
What do you mean?
Front mount intake. What?
Well, yeah. Of course, he's gonna have to buy some stuff.
Yeah, but if you're and again, this is where it comes down to. Like we always tell circle track guys, like, I can't buy the fuel you want me to buy. It's like 45 cents more a gallon than the no-name shit you're buying from the retard at the parts truck. Buy VP.
Right.
Well, it's 45 or 60 cents more a gallon. It's like, then you shouldn't fucking be here.
Right.
Because you're going to wear out $250 or $60 tires, not to mention if you bounce off anybody.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Adds up. Yep. Well, with regard to what they have to buy. So, yeah, I know where you're going because like in circle track, when they institute like a spec motor rule, they'll allow the old motors and they'll put 100 pounds on them or something like that, right? So so you don't have to throw your shit away.
Yeah.
But I mean, the investment that a Pro Stock guy makes, well, let's talk about it. You need a new hood. You need a new intake. You need that front mount throttle body, and you need the injection system.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could that be 20,000?
Well, what'd they say? A whole system with injectors should cost $3?
Yeah.
Now that probably doesn't include the throttle body. I couldn't imagine that includes the throttle body.
Okay, so a throttle body is $1,000. Let's say the intake is 2,000. So that's 3.
Or wait a minute, did they say it was 10 to outfit? Maybe it was. I don't remember. It was on.
It's hard. It'd be hard to believe that it's 10, and here's why. I mean, you could buy a big stuff or a DFI or a Motec. Well, not Motec or an AEM with everything you need for $3,500, and then you got to buy an intake and injectors.
Might have been $10,000 to outfit 3 motors or 3 cars. Like that might have been 1 controller and 3 motors worth of shit. Because I remember the 10. Like this is one of those things.
Yeah.
I do this constantly. I tell you something, and I said, I'm pretty sure, and you're like, where'd you say it?
Yeah.
Couldn't fucking tell you. But I know I read that. I think because they were comparing it to carburetors and saying that it'd be like $30,000 in carburetors, or you could have 3 motors done for like 10 grand.
Well, hear me out, because I think this 10 grand did come up. It might be 10 grand to do the car. Because if you think about it, let's say the controller's 3 grand, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got, say, 2,000 in a fabricated intake.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 5.
I think you got more than that. Personally,
in a fabbed intake, 3,000.
I think for Pro Stock, like let's say the guy. Again, I have to rein in my hatred. The guys that do it, that know how to do it, I think it's probably going to be 4 to 5.
Okay, but those guys are kind of inconsequential now because all you're flowing is air.
Let's see if it really works out to be inconsequential. Yeah. I don't believe so.
No, you're probably right because flow's flow. But okay, so let's say 5.
Mm-hmm.
So 5, 8, 9. $1,000 for the throttle body is 10. Injectors another 1,000. It's 11. How much is a hood? I mean, it's a hood.
They're carbon fiber, aren't they?
Okay, 1,000.
No, got to be more than that.
2,000.
The hood of my Corvette's like $900.
Okay, so let's say 3,000. You're at 14 grand, and I think that's high. So if you got a pro stock car, arguably a $250,000 car, and you can't spend 12 grand. Well, first of all, you got no choice. You got to do it anyway.
Scott chimed in and took my side, by the way. He said he thought 10 grand outfitted 3 motors. So probably what that was.
Yeah, it could be.
That wasn't 3 cars. That was probably maybe 10 grand. Did you 3 motors worth of stuff
and then the
support stuff? Yeah, maybe a controller and then the support stuff around it.
Yeah. So
all right. So let's say we could get back.
But even so, so it's 10 grand for 3 cars with 1 controller, and then you need a hood. So it's 3 grand. So we're still 13, 14 grand, right?
I mean, this is one of those things where I'm trying to draw a parallel here, that you're trying to figure something out, and you're like, how much could it cost? Like, you're building a motor, you're building a house, you're building anything.
Yeah.
You're like, 2, 3, 4 of these, 3 of those. Look, I'm looking, and then all of a sudden,
a couple combs.
Yeah, you're off by so much.
It could be, but does it matter? Because all the guys with pro stock cars that
have pro stock money, or
also, they're also rans. There's nothing they can do. They got to either throw their whole car away.
Yeah.
Or they got to spend 15 grand.
Well, no, there's the other alternative, which happens when they change circle truck rules. People quit.
Well,
and that would bring you, unfortunately, down to that 10 car number, which would be bad.
Well, we're talking about people quitting that normally show up to local events, like Alan's buddy. What's his name?
Jeff.
Jeff. So Jeff, he's got to spend 15 grand, but he could arguably qualify at a national event. I mean, if his motor's not total turd, which chances are.
I think Jeff kind of did this for the fun of doing it. So I don't think that the motor is probably up to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just the guy that's, I can't do that. I can't put my head there. It was very hard for me as a circle track guy to know that I was going to the racetrack and
you couldn't win
at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Going in to hope for a good finish. That is awful to me.
No, that's not a racer's mentality anyway.
No,
that's a liberal mentality.
If people can do that, sorry, Alan. Go Trump.
It's good enough.
Good enough. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. That's the other one.
No. Yeah.
If
he hates you now.
Yeah, he does. He does. I hope he.
Not as much as me, but anyway.
I was going to say something, but
everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah, that's exactly. I can't be that guy.
No,
and
me neither.
If guys if they can do that, if they can wrap their head around it and go there and have fun, that's great. But from the perspective that this is competition and it is aired on TV, it is required to bring people in. And I mean, look, it's been years since I've been to an NHRA event. Yes, when the fuel cars are out there, everybody comes out there to watch. But from what I remember, is it like fuel cars would be done and like the pro classes would come out, like pro stock bike, things like that. Not as much bike, but with pro stock.
Yep.
It's almost like the grandstands would shift.
I know.
It was like, like they said, okay, next group come in. Like everybody's got their interest.
Yep.
They can't afford to lose that side of interest, because if what's keeping the normally aspirated guy there that wants to see super stock, comp, pro stock, if one of their big draws of pro stock goes away, they can't afford to lose those people. They really can't.
I agree. And I'll tell you what, the biggest draw right now is Pro Mod, I think.
You got to have some time, though, to go to the concession stand. So there's got to be some class for that.
There is. Stock Eliminator.
Come on, dude.
Sorry.
I mean, that is a boring class, but I respect it because it's very hard.
It is hard.
Very hard.
Yep. And so is comp. Comp's really hard and really expensive.
Comp is pro stock money without being a pro stock.
Right. It makes no sense. No. None whatsoever.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I run G-altered fucking coupe or whatever.
I always wait for the bracket racing to come up and then...
So what else did Warren have to say? I mean, we all know that he was on fuel injection stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
This probably is just, I bet when they released how they were planning on implementing all this with the front mounted throttle body and everything, he was like, why did they do this?
Yeah.
Because I don't think in his method or in his mind of testing, he was thinking, well, we'll put a big old oval throttle body in the front of the motor where the distributor now would sit, the belt-driven distributor.
That might have been the biggest curveball, in my opinion, that they put a flat hood on the thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a smart idea on NHRA's part, but I don't think anybody saw that coming. They probably knew injection was coming at some point. they probably knew that a rev limiter was coming at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk too much about that kind of stuff. We talked a lot about valves. Is why he was over with us, and so the way we do things versus some other companies, and the success we've been having with them. Our stuff is in Greg Anderson and Jason Line's stuff. It's been Greg's been champion forever until Erica Enders started killing everybody. By the way, Nick Ferry was over. He spent some time with us, and it's really funny. The owner of Lump Cylinder Heads works for Nick. Nick Ferry does Erica Enders stuff. Mm-hmm. They were over with us, and it's really cool to see, people walking by and knowing who's everybody that's in your booth is high end people. It's cool.
Yeah.
But back to Warren. There was some conversation about RPM and the RPM limit, and there are cars out there today that will be running in California, and I didn't know this. There are a couple of cars that run up to 12,000 RPM.
I would absolutely believe that.
That's singing, man.
I would absolutely believe that. And this is the same discussion we had about Formula One and everything else.
Yep.
That's what you had to do to make the power levels you had to.
So the opinion is, those guys will obviously suffer more if they don't hit the R&D
mm-hmm.
at the same pace as everyone else.
You got to figure that everybody that has been shooting for, and look, I'll just make this really clear for everybody that doesn't understand this, that the higher you can turn the motor, numerically, the higher the number of gear you can use. If you can use more gear, you can turn the motor higher. It's multiplication. It's simple math. I mean, you can't just turn the motor higher and lose 500 horsepower. But if you can turn the motor higher within a reason, within a reasonable amount of either fall off or broadening, you will go faster.
Yep.
That's fact of life.
Yep.
So with that being said, the people that worked really hard to get the RPM level of a pro stock motor up, I agree, they're going to suffer the most.
Without a doubt.
Everything in their program was based around making the valve train perform, making the motor run better at higher and higher RPMs. Now they've all of a sudden had, look, if they were turning at 12, or let's just call it 12.5.
Just under 12.
All right.
Right at 12.
All right, let's say 12. Pull 2,500 RPM or 2,000 RPM
1,500. They're going to 10.5.
They're going to, I thought they were going to 95.
10.5.
10.5.
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. I might be wrong on that.
Still a lot. It's still a lot, especially if you consider average power. The power band that they run is tiny too. I mean, they put the thing to the wood on the limiter,
mm-hmm.
and I bet you they don't vary 1,200 RPM going down the track.
I don't know about that. I would have to take issue with that. I think it's a little more than that.
How much more?
I would have told you that they run somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,800 to 1,900.
All right. It's
maybe as much as 2,000.
It's not 3,500.
No.
So when you talk about taking away that much RPM, and you have a package that makes power over, let's say, a 2,000 RPM band,
mm-hmm.
because that's all they care about.
Yeah.
It's where their springs are right. It's where everything's right. You've essentially moved them backwards 10 years.
Yeah.
And if they don't have that data, they got to go back and find it. I mean, you remember.
But I mean, is that data any good anymore?
I mean,
well, think about
for
that.
For Valvetrain, it is. The Valvetrain doesn't know what kind of carburation or induction's on it.
But hold up a minute. But if you went back 10 years, think of all the advancents in low profile, tappets, push rod material. So now everything, they're fucked anyway.
Yeah, they are. They are. You're right.
The only guy the guy that would be really good at this says, I can't afford to turn my motor that high because I can't keep breaking shit or taking chances. So we'll just be a little more conservative. He'd be the guy that has the advantage right now.
And there are a lot of those guys. Like a lot of guys at 11,000, they're going to lose 500 RPM.
Now, what did they do? Didn't they they went away from aluminum rods. They went to steel rods.
Some people are back on aluminum.
And I was going to say now they're going back to aluminum, but that might have been in part because of the hunt for RPM. Yes, no?
Well, no, because there's a weight limit on a rod.
There is.
Yeah. That's why one of the reasons they were able to go with steel. And the problem with aluminum still is you have to account for the stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, as tight as they run everything, and I don't mean tight clearance wise, I mean tight package wise, like, valve to piston and, that kind of stuff. They don't want to account for, even with the good aluminum, you're still 50 thousandths in stretch. You got to account for, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it used to be 60, 70 with the
CP
2000 series.
And this is what cracks me up because like this, I'm not going to say it's stuff I forgot about, but it's this, like, just sitting here talking about this makes me want to fuck with this stuff again.
I know.
Because people don't know
No.
how precise everything gets. And we did no pro stock stuff for years. I mean, I can't even remember the last time that the business was involved in a pro stock, probably at some capacity helping Frank Iaconio. That's how long ago it was.
Yep.
And, of course, Tommy used the dyno there until Jessel put theirs in.
Yep.
But, no real involvement, but you still, when you're in that thing, you get the little bits and pieces of information, and God, I miss all that shit.
Yeah, it's cool shit.
And I mean, like the steel rod thing, that's interesting. That just goes to show you that I didn't know there was a weight rule on the rods.
There's a weight rule on valves too.
Really?
Yeah, 90 grams. Can't be any lighter.
Well, I think it's really good they did that, because that's, well, look, here's what happens. If you're trying to make things turn more and more RPM, one of the things you got to do is take some mass out of it.
Yep.
To try to make it, I mean, I hate to think what Formula One stuff ended up weighing before they got stuff under control, what they did.
Well, I remember the days of NASCAR qualifying engines.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably tell you the story. I was in Sabco one day, which is now Ganassi.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to their engine builder. This is back in the day where you could actually get into some of the engine shops, because a lot of teams like Morgan McClure, the Kodak car, had their own engine shop, and Sabco had an engine shop. And it wasn't all Hendrick, Earnhardt, and, Yates, or whatever it is, Roush Yates now. But anyway, I was in there and he was doing qualifiers, and I'll never forget looking at Carrillo rods with 1/4-inch bolts. And it was the weirdest, like a 1/4-inch car bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And for people that don't know what a car bolt is, it's like the most expensive bolt made.
And the funny thing is, I remember seeing some of the qualifying motor stuff, and I kind of thought, somebody just put that out there to fuck with people, because it can't be like that. And then sure enough, it was like some of the wrist pin diameter things that I saw.
Yeah. And piston guided rods, the rods were really thin.
I was like, this can't work.
Yeah.
I was like, why would they even try this?
But for a qualifier, it only had to go around the track 5 times.
Yeah.
And only 3 under power, right? Or 2 under power.
But see, again, there's a good point, a good thing to say where rules have helped the sport, because they had so much money invested in their qualifying side. Qualifying to them, especially to the engine guys, was like another race.
Right. Yep. No doubt. And it hurt us because, qualifying motors, there was a lot in them and a lot of them. So they probably cut our valve business in half when we were doing it.
Really?
Yeah. Valve business, spring business, retainers, everything. Yeah.
All right.
We even had rods in there.
So Warren had a conversation, and somebody in the area of that conversation indicated 10, 11 cars.
Yeah. Yep.
And if we rewind back in the show, I think that's what me and the one guy were talking about in here.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Actually,
I'm going to say one more prediction. I think that you will see, however many cars show up, I think you will see the widest spread from good to bad that you've ever seen.
We talked about that specifically.
Yeah, what do you say?
3/10.
So Warren agrees with Mike. I am honored.
You should be.
I am honored,
but could you imagine 3/10?
In pro stock? No.
I mean, because it's like 400ths now.
I was going to say, somebody who's like a pro stock historian would have to look up and tell me, and I don't mean because there's, 5 nitwits. I mean, like, I'm talking about a qualified field of good cars. Like, we had 7 good guys show up because there was a hurricane that took one whole half of the country out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying a real quality field of car.
And number 16 car was a street car.
Was there ever a 3/10 field of pro stock cars?
I can't imagine that there was.
Wow.
Maybe. Who knows? Back in the 80s.
There's going to be.
Not to argue with the professor, but I would have never said 3/10. I would have said, I bet we could see a full
he might have said 2 to 3/10, something like that, but it's going to be big.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool that you brought that up.
It's a big change.
Yeah.
All this is a big change. So
it is. Any
other revelations from pro stock out there?
Well, Warren, Kurt, and the Total Seal is involved with them. So Matt Hartford and Warren and Kurt, I believe, are going to act like a 3-car team.
Okay.
I think Warren's actually going to be driving again, which is cool for the sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, really no other pro stock tidbits other than we should go out there and interview people.
Where
for a show.
Where's the first race?
Pomona.
Never been there.
It's a
little farther than Englishtown.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It's It's at a fairgrounds. I mean, they only use the track twice a year.
Where is it geographically in relation to, say, LA?
It is about 30 miles northwest.
Oh, so it's kind of close to LA?
Yeah.
So we could like go to Vegas and then go there for the race.
Actually,
we could drive there.
Actually, you can go to Vegas and then you can take a Southwest flight from Vegas to Ontario for like $20. And Ontario is 2 miles away from Pomona.
Okay.
And they got a major airport. It's just $1 million.
I like driving through the desert like a lunatic.
Yeah. 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 It's like, you can make a 4-hour ride into 3 hours.
Yeah.
Or 2.5. Speaking of driving like a lunatic, my last story from the show. So the guys from AMS, the all-wheel drive GTR that you make fun of.
Yep.
Which is the fastest GTR in the world. And those guys are super intelligent. Like
2 questions.
Super smart guys.
Do they shift on a rev limiter?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do they go out 10 feet and fall on their face?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Just checking.
No, this car's badass.
I'm sure it is.
Well,
I mean, they don't do what they do at the level they do.
No.
Because they got a fart can on a car.
No.
I mean, they know what they're doing.
They actually have 2 companies.
2 fart cans.
they have 2 billet blocks for the car. 2 different people making billet blocks for their car.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. But anyway, so 2 of their guys, I don't know if you guys know this, they just ran the Cannonball Run again.
Really? Yeah, but it's different, isn't it?
It's called the Cannonball Run 2905 or something like that.
Yeah, but it's different.
It's not any different in rules.
Well, there were classes.
Right. There's no classes anymore. It's called 2905 because other than safety and a fuel tank, you can't spend more than $2,905 on the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the AMS guys bought a Crown Vic Police Interceptor.
Mm-hmm.
They put an extra 50-gallon, stainless tank in the trunk and whatever they did for safety. And they set the 6th fastest time ever in the history of the Cannonball Run. They did it in 33 hours from New York to LA, 33 hours and 7 minutes.
See, I must have this confused with something else.
Yeah.
Because the Cannonball Run thing that I remember reading about. Now, maybe this was not called the Cannonball Run. This is where I might be messed up. But I remember the guy, there was something on Facebook or Twitter or something that he did it with somebody and they had talked about GPS it was a story involved. Now, maybe, but this guy was like the fastest guy and he won it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about getting speeding tickets and everything else. And that was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like that this whole thing transformed from go as fast as you can across the country to now we've put some rules in place.
Yeah, there's another one. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'll never think of the name.
The Gumball Rally?
That might be it.
And was the other guy Dom DeLuise?
No, but that might be it.
Fuck. Anyway, so let me finish. But yeah, there is another one. So these guys, they averaged 89 miles an hour, which including stops is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
In Utah, they averaged 101 miles an hour.
Way to go, Utah.
Yeah.
So shout out,
a whole lot of nothing.
Shout out to all our Utah guys. We got 7 now. But no, I thought it was cool because it's 2 people that work for AMS. I'm thinking, they're gonna have a GTR or something cool, and then
so you can spend $2,900 and $5.
Yeah, they had 3 guys.
This is the whole car.
The whole car. They bought a 200,000 mile Police Interceptor Crown Vic.
That's the perfect car though, because that's the cop's gonna look at it like, oh, no.
Probably serviced it, and they had binoculars, they had radar detectors, and they just had at it.
Your ways and you go.
We should do that.
2,900. Listen, I just got out from under all my ticket shit. I ain't doing that.
You could be a binocular guy.
That's fine.
So, but here, check it out. The guy who won was in I forget the year, but it was in a Mercedes AMG E55. And the story is it was a theft, recovery, salvage, 10 title car. But you're talking about, if the car had a regular title, it's like a $30,000 car. So it's horseshit. I mean, people bend the rules. The second,
well, I was going to say that's not bending the rules. That's like
breaking the rules.
Yeah, that's like taking the eraser to the line and going over it and redrawing it after on the other side. You can't.
And the second place car was another Mercedes, a 98 E something or other. But and these guys did it in a Crown Vic, which is pretty cool.
Well, couldn't you? I mean, see that this is where again back to what we talked about.
We would do it in a
Subaru
Subaru Forester.
Mark 8.
Oh, wait a minute. you can go. You can take Tad. Okay, I'm good.
Wait a minute.
Here
With a fart can.
Yep. The with you have to have rules to have a game. You have to. And like if there's a $2,900 rule, the first thing that goes to me as an engine guy is how do you enforce that rule? If they put a rule on something, it has to be enforceable. So let's say that, I don't know, I got hit by a bus tomorrow and suffered a head injury, and Tad walks up to me and says, "Hey, can I buy your Corvette for $2,905? Uh-huh. And he plops it on the counter and
so
leaves.
If you got hit by a bus and you had a head injury, you talking to Tad would be like looking in the mirror talking to yourself.
Probably. Probably.
Hilarious.
But what I'm saying is that like these things, how do you ever I understand.
I know. I hear you. Point made, and everybody was probably thinking that, but I guess you know what they probably do, what the state of New Jersey does. I sell you a car, like a $10,000 Tahoe, and you write on the title $2,500, and they send you the FU letter. Like, yeah, we know you spent $2,500 on a truck, but it's worth $7,500, so you're paying us this much tax.
Well, I always wrote back to them, tell them where to go. But
what do we got?
The guy that broke the record was not part of the race.
That's true. No, yeah, a guy did it in 23 hours.
So what, did the guy just do it to do it?
Yeah.
That's a sick fuck right there.
That he was in a real high-end car.
Yeah, he was in an M5.
Yeah.
23
hours, 10 hours faster. I guess you could figure out the mile an hour. I didn't do the math. You figure, how far is that?
It would be great to have this race kind of like the original intention of it. Don't give a shit what you brought here. And don't care what it is. You get from here to here.
Well, if you remember it, that's how it was. And even in the movie, the Lamborghinis and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
that's why when you were saying like this 29, I knew stuff had changed about it, but I didn't know they tried to define a car limit.
Well, we should do it next year.
Yeah, but I say we do the death race. That was a better movie.
Oh, Tad, just shut up.
Man.
Do I have? I'm going to mute him.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got from the show? Anything?
Holy God, I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah.
Hollywood's out.
I thought I did pretty good.
Wasn't terrible.
Wasn't terrible. It's the best I get.
Well, Tom, we can't let good enough get in the way of.
That is true.
Or perfect get in the way of good enough. I can't even get the quote right. Alan has me so befuddled.
Yeah.
Befuddled.
All right. Anything else?
I'm done.
Watch Street Outlaws. We'd like anybody that is DVRing this or, can play it back later. Please, I encourage you.
Look for Tom.
If there's a goofy spot of Tom somewhere, freeze it and take a nice little screen capture.
Oh, I will.
Post it on our Facebook.
Easy.
Because I think this would be enjoyable.
Hey, like us on Facebook, man. Come on.
Yep. Oh, by the way, that RPM limit is high idle twist 2.0, guys.
Got it.
Tad, shut up.
Well
Jesus Christ.
Say goodnight, Tad.
Good night.